the Bruiser Brody subject, but tonight I wanted to know, can you give the fans any closer insight about that night that you may not have? I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times. Is there anything that you may want to disclose that we may not know about the stabbing of Brody? And I would really like to get your personal feelings about Carlos Colon.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and you can pick and choose what you hear now that you felt like you didn't. You probably heard it then, but didn't quite. You know, sometimes you watch a movie and you miss something, then you watch it again and say, oh, wow, you know, I just noticed that. So sometimes just by telling the story again helps a great deal. It was so strange with me and Brody. Me and Brody have been knowing each other since the 70s. I first met him, he was working in Amarillo, Texas. And he just got through playing college football and everything. And we worked together some then. We worked all over. But then I went to Von Erich territory in Texas. And I went in as the Black Superman. That's when I first started wearing the Superman suit. And George Scott was the booker. When George Scott left and left Brody as the booker, Brody said, Tony, George Scott said, don't worry, Brody going to take care of you. 1 week after Brody took the book, he didn't book me for no shows. He didn't book, at that time, the Dingo Warrior for no shows. With the Dingo Warrior working back and forth between Japan.
Just in case fans don't know, Dingo Warrior ended up being the Ultimate Warrior in the WWE.
It became the Ultimate Warrior.
Right. Yes.
But at that time, he was the Dingo Warrior, and he was working back and forth between Japan and World Class Wrestling. And Brody left us at home. One day, Brody called me and said, Tony, I got your book. So I went down to Fort Worth, Texas to do the TV because I figured, you know, because I was traveling back and forth out of Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was the only place I could wrestle because Vince had blackballed me everywhere else. So the only place I could work during that year was World Class Wrestling and Puerto Rico. So I was going back and forth in Puerto Rico. So when I got there, Brody said, well, I made a mistake, you're not booked. So I got so pissed off, and you can ask some of the guys that was around during that time, I challenged Brody to a fight on the parking lot. I invited him out in the parking lot.
Nice.
And then the guy came up, Earl, his name was Eric Razor or something like that.
Eric Embry?
Embry.
Eric Embry, look at you.
He was there.
Florida.
So if you talk to Eric Embry, you ask him about that. So I wanted to fight Brody. So I called out the parking lot. Earl Embry came out and said, Tony, you better leave. They called the cops on you.
What?
And I said, F the cops. They said, told him, these cops will shoot you.
Ooh.
Get in your car, get the fuck out of here. I got in my car, I left. I didn't see Brody anymore until he came to Puerto Rico. So he was there for the whole week. I didn't say nothing to him the whole week. Finally, we was in the gym working out. Brody walked over to me. I laid the waist down. I figured we're gonna go at it.
Oh boy.
He held his hand out to me. He said, Tony, I'm sorry for what happened to you in Texas. I had nothing to do with that. He said the reason that they got rid of you and the reason that they will not book the Warrior is because both of y'all got better physique than Curry Von Erich. See, Curry was in an accident. He wrecked. He was in a auto accident and he lost 1 foot, so he was out of the scene for a while. So now he's coming back. Well, you know, Curry had a great physique too.
Yeah.
So the Ultimate Warrior was lucky. He went to Vince and became the Ultimate Warrior. I went to Puerto Rico. So after me and Brody, we talked everything. He said, but I promise you, Tony, I promise you, things will be different here. He said, I waited a long time to get in down here. Now, I knew then he wasn't talking about wrestling because he'd been wrestling there for years.
Promoting?
He bought in. He gave them money he bought some of the territory. He bought some shit.
So whose shares did he take?
From what I hear, I'm not for sure because I'm not in the office. I hear he took Gorilla Monsoon shares because Monsoon has shares in there. So he
Straight to the top. We're living this life, not just dreaming it, we're doing it for real.